that odious stench. Smells like...
Hey there, welcome to Hymns in My Wake. I'm Jake, and today I've got a collection update for you. My first collection update to this channel. It's all gonna be vinyl this time. Kind of toying with just the idea of doing updates by the format that I get them in. Whenever I get enough of a certain format, doing an update that way. Yeah, it just so happened that my new arrival bin back there was filling up, so I figured I'd empty most of it out, talk about it on here, and get it put away. In the background, you're listening to Ares Kingdom Incendiary. These guys are a death metal band out of Missouri. I'm not a death metal expert, but to me these guys really seem to have a really unique take on death metal, a really unique sound of their own that I personally haven't heard a similar band, a band with a similar sound to these guys. But yeah, I picked this up, I want to say a couple years ago. They were the opening band on tour with Watain and Destroyer 666. Went to that show. And honestly, I hadn't heard these guys before. I didn't even know they were playing. But they ended up being the only band that I enjoyed their set. They really put on a masterful show. I was really blown away by their performance. So I picked up not only this CD, I think they had two others at their merch booth I picked up, but yeah, really good stuff. Anyways, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this video, the records. So first up, I think this is either the newest or the second newest arrival. I'm not going to talk a lot about it because it's from Folkvanger Records, and if you've been following my channel, I've been doing a series where I'm spotlighting, all the releases from that. But so I'll go in more depth about this album in the distant future when I finally get to this one. But this is Dumal the Confessor, 2020 release. Dumal is a U.S. black metal band. They're kind of a melodic style of black metal. Let's see. Show you guys. A lot of people like to see the color. This was real gorgeous, kind of a rusty orange, maybe you'd call it. Can't remember the exact name of the color that they had it listed as, but yeah, it turned out beautiful. I really like that one. Yeah. Next up, we have this is a bit of a bittersweet album. This is Alea. It's just self-titled Alea. And if you're not familiar with this artist, this is Alea Starbridge. She was I pulled it out. The lead singer of Trees of Eternity. If you haven't listened to this record, you really need to go check this out. This is a collaboration between, I believe it's just her and her partner in life, Juho Ravia from Swallow the Sun. Alea performed quite a bit on she performed on multiple Swallow the Sun releases. Also, I think some Amorphous. At least one Amorphous song she played on. But yeah, this was released posthumously this year. Alea passed away in 2016 of cancer, tragically. Really a shame. She has such a beautiful voice, but her partner, Juha, compiled a bunch of her songs to create this. I think they came from a lot of them came from a demo tape she recorded early on, and then she had this. I think some of the other tracks came from a little band that she had. I can't remember the name of it, but I don't think they ever released anything. But that's where these came from. It's all it's a 2 LP. Kind of this clear gold. First LP is all acoustic versions of tracks, and then the second LP is electric version of a lot of those same tracks. The acoustic, there's more tracks to it, but yeah, really good stuff. This is the deluxe kind of, I don't know what it's called. It's like the deluxe book version. As you can see, really quality work. Flip a couple pages here. Move on. But yeah, this was put out by Smart Records. They did stellar work on this packaging. Next up, we've got a Canadian modern power metal band. This is Unleash the Arbiters with Abyss. Abyss is the follow-up to their 2017 or 2018 release, Apex, and it's all it's one big concept between the two records. This is the sequel to Apex, where it kind of wraps up the story. Really good. They tell a really good story with these two records. I personally thought Apex musically was a little bit of a better record, but Apex was a damn near perfect modern power metal album. So it's hard to follow that up. But I think they did a pretty good job with this one. Even not being as good as Apex. This was a 2020 release, by the way. Even not being quite as good as Apex, I could see this ending up on my end of year list. I got this kind of clear splatter where it's got this blue and green splatter on it. Real nice. So yeah, there's a big band photo back there. Yeah, good stuff. Next up, we have one of my all-time favorite albums. I think I talked about it before. I think in my first video I talked about this one. This is the 2020 vinyl issuing of Aether Realms Tarot. Actually got two copies. I don't know which color I pulled off the shelf though. Pulled out though. It's this this milky white color. The other one, the article about the other one, it's a red and black swirl. I like that one a little bit better, but it's the music that really matters. So let's talk about that. Tarot is kind of a folky, melodic death metal, melodeath album. Came out in 2016, maybe 17. Yeah, one of those years when it came out. Yeah, and for this release, they changed up the album art, so if it doesn't look familiar, that could be why. It also wasn't, a huge release. A lot of people might not know about it, but yeah, that's that one. Those guys are from North Carolina. Unleash the Archers were from British Columbia. I don't know if I mentioned that. Okay. Ooh, here we go. This album I actually ordered, I think in February or March, and it didn't get here until, I want to say, July. With everything going on, it took forever to make it across the pond. But yeah, this is Russian black metal, atmospheric black metal, nature themed. Discovered these guys because of Classy Lonnie. They're one of his favorite bands. This was the vinyl release was put out by Depths of Void. This one was either I think it was either 2018 or 2019. Is the year this one was released. Whichever it was one of my favorite albums of that year. Real good album. Show you the record here. It's on a dark red. It's coming out a lot brighter here on camera. But yeah. Older ones. Great stuff. Here we have Rivers of Nile, Where Owls Know My Name. Rivers of Nile are a kind of technical, progressive death metal band from Pennsylvania. One of the things that really sets this album apart is the use of saxophones on it. Yeah, that might turn some people off, but I would say give it a chance. It really, really works. Check out the title track on YouTube if you're doubting that combination. Yeah, this one I didn't. Kind of given up hope on getting it very soon. This was a 2018 release. One of my favorite albums of that year. Came out on Metal Blade, I think, so I wasn't in a big rush to get it. I kind of wanted to actually pick it up at one of their shows because I knew I'd see him eventually on the tour for this album. So I was hoping to pick up a vinyl copy there. Went to the show and they actually didn't have any for sale. Metal Blade had, I think they've done multiple pressings of it and it's sold out every time, relatively quick, faster than I expected. So I wasn't able to ever get a copy. And then recently the band posted that they had just, with the coronavirus and everything happening, they had to cancel their tour, or I don't know if they had gotten back from a tour before coronavirus hit and had leftover copies hanging around that they were holding on to, but they posted they'd sent, their last handful of copies to whatever their merch store was, whatever it's the big merch store that Metal Blade uses. Everybody should know it. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head though, but kind of caught me off guard. I think they posted that on like a Tuesday, and I was pretty short on cash that week. I had to really looked at my bank. I looked at my bank account, and I had just enough. I had like a $1 extra, or $1 more than what the album was, and that's only because I found a discount code for that merch site. So I barely had enough money to pull the trigger and buy this, and then that was basically had to spend my lunch money for the week on this album. But yeah, it was well worth it to finally get a copy of this, because they sold out all those copies, I think, within an hour or two of posting them. But it's a really nice purple. I think it's a person that shows up more as a turquoise. I don't know if you guys can see that as well on the camera, but really, really happy to have that one in the collection, since I procrastinated on getting it so long. Figured I'd have to wait or hope for a repress sometime in the future to get it, but yeah, managed to get that one. Like I said, we got a album I picked up from the local record store. This is Ragana with You Take Nothing. I think these guys are from California. They're kind of a punky. I should have listened to it one more time before. It's been a few weeks since I played it. I remember it was really good. I think it's kind of a punky black metal album. More towards the punky, maybe even kind of post-black metal-y sound. This was kind of a blind buy. I had heard the name Ragana mentioned by Sir Meatwad or Marvel Mills, if you know him. He's no longer really active on YouTube, but I had heard him mention these guys. He had pretty high praise for him, just on Black. I'm going to show it. Yeah, I really, really was surprised by this one. I really enjoyed it. Next up, the debut album from Inephrens, The Inward Cold. Yeah, Inephrens is a kind of blackened doom band. I think is the best. Atmospheric, very atmospheric. I think this one was self-released by Inephrens, just on Black. Also came with this little signed picture with it. Picture of himself back there. Pretty cool. Might hang that up one day, I don't know. I'm a big Inephrens fan. Actually even signed the album right there. The album picks that up. Yeah, right there. Got a signature right there. Inephrens is great. They're out of Montana. That was his, as I said, the debut album. Here's one you all should know. I'm not going to go too far in depth on this one. Not that I've gone into depth on any of these that much. Yeah, this is The Glorious Dead. I'm sure you've heard half a dozen people talk about this one already, as it's Marty Worm's band. Yeah, Michigan death metal. Real good stuff. You know, I first heard this on Brain Smasher's channel. He was playing it in the background, and you know, even before, just to speak to the quality of this, not because I know some people might worry that, you know, people are only buying this because it's, you know, Marty's band, but I first heard it on Brain Smasher's channel. He was playing it in the background, and before he even said what was playing, I was just kind of drawn into it. I was even having a hard time just focusing on listening to Ben. I just want him to shut up and turn up the music so I could jam out to this death metal. I don't want to say masterpiece, but this really good slab of death metal. I just wanted to jam out to it. So immediately after, you know, hearing it there, I went and ordered it. And if you know Bindrune, you know Marty offers, well, it's not just Marty now, it's Marty and Austin, but they offer their vinyl releases. They usually put out 2 at a time, and they offer them in a bundle package. So I also picked up this Eve record. What the hell was the name of the Phantoms Made Permanent, the name of the record. These guys are out of Portland, but not Portland, Oregon, Portland, Maine. This is just some, you know, kind of depressive post-black metal. I didn't show the Wax on that last one. I'll show it real quick after this one, but yeah, Bindrune always does great work on these releases. They've even started including a CD in these, which, you know, you can't beat that for, I think, paid $17 a piece for these. Yeah, you can't beat that price. Show this one real quick, in case you haven't seen it before. Gorgeous wax there. Keeping it in Portland, but going across the country, we've got None from Portland, Oregon. Yeah, this is their second album, Life Has Gone On Long Enough. This is just some atmospheric, depressive, suicidal black metal. Put out through Hypnotic Dirge, and with the vinyl release they collaborated with Viridian Flame Records over in Europe. Put this one out. This is nice. This clear copy. Can't remember what they called it. It was some kind of reference to some kind of bleak color. Yeah, this is. I'd listened. I had this on CD copy. I played it once, probably in the background while I was doing something. I enjoyed it, but I don't. Dog hair on there. I didn't enjoy it nearly as much as I did when I got it here on Wax. I put this on one night, turned off the lights, lit a candle, sat there. Usually I play video games while I listen to it, but I was just so taken aback by this. I just sat here in the dark and was just absorbed by this album. Yeah, words. Words can't do it justice. Fantastic, fantastic stuff. Next up, we have Ovnev. I'm gonna have to stop it real quick. Sorry about that little interruption. But anyways, back to business. Next album I had was Ovnev out of Texas. This is Transpiration. This is actually my most recent arrival. The 2020 release. This is a solo project. This is his third release. All of his albums are concept albums. This one is a little bit of a different concept. It's about air, oxygen. Pretty cool stuff. If that interests you, definitely check it out. It's atmospheric black metal, as you could probably tell by the cover and the logo. This one likely will make my end of the year list. It's really good stuff. And I said that about basically everything I've shown, but you know, we don't buy shit that we don't think is good stuff. So sorry to sound like a broken record here. Next up, we have a record from a bit of a super group. This is Hymnal by Arete. Look at this logo. Pretty cool stuff. So right here is an E, and actually in the logo, it's one of those E's with the little kind of, you know, the thing on the top. So like this, it's pretty cool what they did with this little mountain peak right here to create that effect on the letter. Thought that was really neat. This is, like I said, this is a bit of a super group. It's featuring the members of a bunch of solo projects, such as Defest, Evergreen Refuge, and Twilight Fauna, which is actually now features both the members. It used to be a solo project, but he recently added a drummer. Unfortunately, as I was doing a quick research on this, it seems Twilight Fauna might not be active at all anymore. Not really going to go into that, what I found, because I couldn't find any substantial info on it other than a post on these guys' Facebook page saying that this group no longer, that they've disbanded, and that they said that Paul from Twilight Fauna is no longer active in the music scene due to some stuff that's happened. Anyways, if you want more, you can go look it up yourself on their Facebook page. Don't go into detail, which is why I'm not going to say anything about it, because I don't know anything. I'm not going to say anything more because I don't know anything more about what happened. So yeah, this is really good atmospheric black metal, as you would expect from the supergroup from those three projects. So I keep holding down here while I talk, but you guys don't want to see my face. You want to see the lovely records. Yeah. Really, like I said, atmospheric black metal. You know what you're getting. If that's your cup of tea, check that out. Next up, we have the collaboration between Bellwitch and Earl Ruin, Yeah, it sounds pretty much like you would expect a collaboration between those two artists would. Super doomy with a little bit of that folk mixed in. Really like the vinyl on this one, the color. I don't think I have another record that looks remotely similar to that, so super cool. Yeah, another 2020 release that likely will have an appearance on the end of the year list. One more record and wrap this up. It's probably the oldest arrival on this video. I think I bought this one in the end of June. So these records all came from about the end of June to now. I was in a local kind of chain store, FYE. I'm sure most of you guys, they're not local chain, but I was in the local branch of the chain store, FYE. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of them. I was in there just kind of browsing around. It was my boy's birthday was coming up, so I was looking around, just looking for little knickknacks to get him, and figured I'd flip through the records real quick and stumbled on this copy of Black Dahlia Murder, Nightbringers. I'm sure most of you guys know who these guys are. Pretty big band in the scene. A lot of you guys probably don't care for them. Personally, I'm a fan. I picked this one up. It was their FYE exclusive color, so it was a little more on the rare side. It was an original pressing from the year it came out. I think that was 2017. Dark red. Probably my third favorite Black Dahlia Murder album. Look at that artwork. Just looking at it here. That's awesome. That looks awesome. But yeah, probably my third favorite after Nocturnal and their release from this year, Verminous. Yeah. That's all the records I have to show you tonight. So get out there and vote. Take care of yourselves.